Hi, this is Lisa Kessler of Kessler Insurance, and I'm here today on behalf of Cheers for Charity New Hampshire, as always, with my dear friend Joanne Burchuk. Hey, Joanne.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, welcome. Yeah, Joanne Burchuk with Lighthouse Physical Therapy. And today we would like to welcome Barb, who's from Garrison Players. So please, Barb, introduce yourself and tell us all about Garrison Players.
Okay, and I've got my husband sitting on the other side of this counter just in case I forget something. But I have been with Garrison Players. We both have probably since 1972, give or take. This is an all-volunteer community theater group. It's the second oldest continuously performing community theater in New Hampshire. The Concord Community Players, I think, are the oldest. And we were started in 1953 by a group of people in the Dover area who wanted to put on shows, and they got together and they started performing, and it morphed from there into what we are today, which is again an all-volunteer organization. But we managed to purchase an old Grange Hall in Rollinsford, the Hiram R. Roberts Grange Hall, and we converted that into our theater. The upstairs of the building had a big theater space with a little stage, and we've done everything we could to bring it up to snuff. We had to totally gut it, then insulate it, put in wiring, plumbing, heating. It didn't have any of these wonderful things when we started off, and by 2003, I think it was, we were able to open for our first show in the theater. It's an historic building, so it's one of our responsibilities, aside from performing in it, is to maintain the building. And as you can imagine, with the arts, you don't get a lot of money from people often, but you still have obligations to support your where you are and your organization itself. We have a nice board, a very good functioning board, people that are very dedicated to Garrison Players and to the arts. And we have a very vibrant youth theater segment of our organization. We perform roughly 4 main stage programs, our plays throughout the year, and then the youth theater performs several, including a summer camp that we have. Let me think.
So, Barbara, I've driven by it so many times and always like, I need to check out because you guys have had some really great shows there. So how big is it inside? I've always been kind of curious. How many people can you seat?
We well, legally we could have seated 120, but because we built the proscenium out, so we had more stage space, and we put in a lighting booth at the back of the hall. 85 is probably the tops we can fit in there, but it's got wonderful acoustics. We do other groups will come in and use the theater. We've had Ball in the House come, we've had local artists come, and they perform there. We do a 60-40 split with groups that come in on their own, and so they can use the theater and they get 60% of the proceeds, and we get enough to cover our costs to maintain the electricity and heat and whatever. And so it's a nice, we also have an outside stage that we used in the summer, and we built that in COVID times because we couldn't perform inside. So we would do shows outside, mostly the youth theater in the summertime. We obviously can't do it in the winter, but that's given us a little bit of an extra venue there. And we do mostly comedies, murder mysteries, just straight shows versus musicals, because we don't have the room to do a big musical. But in our youth, as an organization, we used to perform wherever we could get space. So we did shows at Dover High School, at Simpson's Pavilion, at local motels and things that would fit us. And it was always fun, but we always wanted our own home, and we have it now, for good or for worse.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great. Now, with the building being older, and I know you had to do a lot of work on it, are you open all year round, or is it, you mentioned the summer programs, but are you
Yep.
doing shows all year round?
Yep, we are open all year round. We got thankfully an L-chip grant when we got to the end of what we could do ourselves, by taking down all the old lath and plaster, and we saved all the pieces that we took down. And so L-chip wants everything back the way it was, and we were able to restore it as much as we could, with all the materials that we'd taken down, all the trim and everything else. And that was a great help to us, but we totally insulated the whole building. And we've got a nice heating system. We put a basement in. We've got air conditioning so we can use it in the summertime without roasting to death. And nice hall downstairs. Barton Hall downstairs is a place we can meet. We can have our annual meeting. And it's just, it's a neat building. It's really nice.
Yeah, it sounds great. What shows are you doing now, and what do we have to look forward to for this year?
Well, of course, I should have my whole list here because I'll forget. But we have a play coming up. It's kind of a double play. It's called White Liars. It's two plays, actually, and Black Comedy. So they're two separate plays, kind of like one act. So it's White Liars and Black Comedy.
Same author.
And yes, by the same author, my husband's telling me. And that is going to be done in March, I think, Tom. Is that when that's going up? In March. And then our final as a main stage show is, what is the last one we're doing? This is terrible. But we have another show coming up in March, in May. In May, we'll be doing our final show that I would have had if I had my brain on. And our youth theater.
I'm sure you're going to tell us how people can look up your show. So that
yes, you would go to Garrison
check it out.
Go to garrisonplayers.org, and you'll see all the shows that are there that are coming up. Our youth theater is getting up and running for the season, and they'll be doing their shows starting probably in June. And then the summer camp goes up, and then when that stops, then we start our 24-25 season. So we haven't firmed that up yet. That's we're doing play readings right now for that.
Yeah. And how do people get involved in the group? I mean, is there like open times where people can audition for different parts, or how does that work?
Yeah, all of our shows are open for anybody who wants to try out for them. All of our tryouts are open. We don't precast anybody, and we welcome anybody that wants to come and volunteer. We always need volunteers. People that want to come and usher to shows, they can see the show free. We need people to run the box office, people to do just all the general things that you need to do in a building. Sometimes we have to do some fixing up and building sets. We always need set builders. Anybody that can come and help out, stage managers, etc. So we love to have volunteers, and we try to get out there the word that come and join us, come and try us out, come and see if we fit what you'd like to do.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like a great opportunity for people that love getting involved in the arts, and sounds like an amazing space to do that.
Yeah.
Other ways that the community can help?
Well, we can always use money. That's always the big thing. We really need a fundraiser. We had one, and sadly she moved to Florida, so we lost her. That's something we do an ad book. We started it back after the 2 COVID years that we were sort of shut down. And we started it up last year again, and it went very well, but we'd like to build on that because that can be a big boon for us financially. Plus, we'd like to have people sponsor our shows if they like to do that. That would be a great help. And just come and see them. The more people come and see what we do, if they like what we do, they'll tell their friends and neighbors, and that'll help build we have a membership drive every year. So anybody can be a membership for as little as $25 a year. And we have different gradients of what what level of membership they can take out. So it's just getting people aware of the fact that we're there. We love to have them come in, take a look around. Or anytime somebody wants to just come go through the theater, they could call somebody on the board, and we're happy to meet them there.
Nice. Lisa, did you have any other questions? Or?
I love this, and I too have driven by the building. I used to work in Rollinsford, so I used to go by there all the time, and it's so cool to hear about what's really going on inside there.
Mhm.
What's the average? I know you have like 85 people in the room, but how many people typically are in a show? How big is the ensemble typically?
It really varies. We did 12 Angry Men not too long ago, and so obviously we had 12 men and a few other.
Angry.
Yeah. And we try to keep the show size manageable because we don't have a huge stage. And depending on what kind of a show you're doing, what kind of set you need, and props, and all the various things that you have to put on stage, the more furniture, the more stage items we have, it makes it squishy if we have too many people. But we arrange, and we have entrances on both sides, so people come in from the side, from the back, from the front, depending on what we're doing. But we've done a Christmas Carol version where we had madrigal singers, which were wonderful. And so we've had big casts. It's just we try to look for anything from maybe as small as two people to yeah. Tom, my husband, is saying we did 1776. I think we've done it 3 times, but we did it that was our opening show at the theater, and that was a big cast. It was a wonderful, wonderful show. We'd love to do again.
So how do you decide what shows you select?
We have a play reading committee. We're in the middle of reading plays right now. So we read the plays, we discuss how do they work with us for our audience. Our audience is more family oriented. We're not adverse to doing shows that are more serious or a little bit edgy, if you will, but most of the audience that comes to see our shows are people that enjoy a good comedy or a good murder mystery or a well-written play that kind of grabs you, not something that's kind of over the top for us anyway. And so we read these plays and we make a determination: are they going to work for us financially? Because royalties are one thing that are difficult. If your royalties are over $1,000 or $2,000, it's very hard with the size of our theater to be able to sell enough tickets and do it often enough to recoup your investment.
Sponsors.
So sponsors help a lot. Obviously, if we get shows sponsored, that's a big help.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I just want to thank you so much for all the work you do. The arts are so important, especially in the Seacoast, and it really just a cool thing to have in literally our backyard. So thank you both for working on this. We appreciate your time with us today.
You're welcome.
Awesome. It was nice to speak with you.
You too.